Testing. All right. Call to order today's special town council meeting. It's Tuesday, April 16th, and it's 6 p.m. I guess we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If anyone wants to stand. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. First item on the agenda is to approve the agenda. Motion to approve.
As submitted. Second.
All those in favor? Okay. All those opposed? Okay. All right, our first item on the budget today is discussion and action regarding laying the levy for fiscal year 25 general fund and coal severance budgets. And I believe Deb, you have some information for us regarding that.
Okay, yep. So I'm just going to go through this process. This is a little confusing and be overwhelming, especially the first time that you go through it. But I just kind of wanted to explain a little bit more about what we're doing here. So the budget the levy estimate that was approved by council back in March projects the full budget for the year. And the linchpin of that budget is the levy rate on property taxes that is based on the valuation that is given to us by the county and then converted into a tax rate called the levy. So that's why the state auditor's office calls it a levy estimate, and we're laying the levy now because in March, the budget and all of its details, including that levy rate and the property tax that would be collected as a result of that, was submitted to the state auditor's office, has been reported back to us now as approved for accuracy and in accordance with what they find. And so now it is our duty, as it is every other municipality in the state of West Virginia, to meet on this third Tuesday and lay the levy. And what will happen tomorrow is I will send the levy rate sheet that Nina will sign to the county, and the county will then begin the process of assessing the taxes, setting up the tax bills, and collecting the tax so that then that matriculates into our budget for next year. So that's kind of the circle of how that works. Just to show you more particularly, we receive in February from the tax office from the assessor's office in the county, the valuation of our property. There's a total number of a dollar value associated with the class of our properties that we have that I then plug into a spreadsheet that I have to download from the state auditor's office. And I have special directions about where I place that valuation number into the spreadsheet, which is right here. And that's on one page of the spreadsheet. And that generates that then matriculates into a formula that gives us a class 1 rate of 6.44 on $100. And that's the amount of a levy increase that we're allowed to have without a public hearing. If we were in like some part of West Virginia where our main source of income was this property tax and we were not able to survive with this much, we would be able to go up to a different level with a public hearing. So these things are all defined in this spreadsheet. I have no control over them. I put that number in and I ask somebody at the state auditor's office to check it for me before I do anything else. So then that creates what we call this levy sheet. And so you can see this 6.44 per $100 is the amount that then is used to generate all of these other class tax rates, which a lot of ours are in this class 2 section. And so then all these amounts then say that we're looking at collecting, assuming we use this levy rate, about $85,000 in property tax for the year. There's another page on that spreadsheet that I have to fill out with all of our different budget items in it for revenues. All these yellow blocks are numbers that I can plug in based on what council decides, budget and finance recommends, would be income numbers that we might receive. The only one I can't punch in is this one, this $85,000. because it is calculated based on all the data that, formulas the state auditor's office has provided in this spreadsheet that I must use. Then we go through and we put all of the expenses in and a lot of other data, and we get all the way down to the last sheet that Nina has to sign. And if I haven't done everything right in here and something's out of balance, a big red line comes across here and says, do not sign this. And it does not go away until I have it right. And so Nina did not have that on her sheet on March 11th, and she signed, and away it went to the state auditor's office. And we've now received back from the state auditor's office the letter that confirms that they have received and accepted and approved our budget for the year, and they want us to lay the levy today, not adopting this as our rate that will go for our property tax and generate that. Not adopting? As adopting. I may have misspoken with an extra syllable, I'm sorry. So that's basically what we're doing today. The budget was already approved. This is just saying, we're good, they checked it, we're right, this is the rate we're gonna use this year. Okay?
Very cool, thank you.
Any questions?
And may I direct my questions to Debbie? Okay, Debbie, when do you get the report from the county? When does that second?
In February.
In February. And do we ever get to see it before February as a town council body?
Well, I don't usually provide it, but we certainly can, and I may have put it in the packet, with, I'm not sure if I put it in the packet for the budget before, I may have, but Budget and Finance reviews it, and they also rely on the fact that I follow the instructions of the state auditor's office to plug in the proper amount of money to calculate the levy rate.
Okay, and then, so we received that in February, you do your magic, and then when are we required by law to submit it to them as well? By a certain date, to the county?
So, you mean the whole budget?
Whatever you told us, you take that piece of paper, you do your magic, whatever, and you put it on another form and you submit that to the county.
Yep, that's going out of here actually tonight.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that is,
So that's confirming. So this is what they said, look,
Right.
here's the valuation of your property tax. You need to now set a levy rate that's gonna generate your property tax. So we're now completing the circle by saying, this is what we adopted, this is what the property tax projection for fiscal 25 collection is gonna be. And I gotta send that back to them, so they in their office can start their process of applying that to all property tax bills.
okay, let's go back to the first page in your book.
This is the first.
Okay, the letter that you
Yeah.
got from her. Where
Is that what, the letter from the state auditor?
office?
That
That
just came in today, that came yesterday, that was tells us
So when do you send something to them
on
that they approve, that they send you that approved letter?
So we had our meeting in March, and we're required in this particular year, every year I get a schedule from them. In this particular year, I want to say it was March 27th, we were required to have sent our levy estimate down, and I may have misspoken, it might not have been March 11th, we had the meeting, I think it was the last week of March that we had the meeting on the budget. But as soon as that happens, I send that down to the state auditor's office, not the county, the state auditor's office. And they review it, send us this letter back. At the same time, when I send that down to the state auditor's office, I send it off to the paper for 2 weeks. Right? So those things happen, okay, all simultaneously. And then the state auditor's office reviews ours along with everyone else's, and sends, if they have any concerns, they'll send that back to us, we'll have to fix it, and they'll tell us how to handle that, because it has to happen in this precise time frame.
Okay, bear with me. Okay, so, and then, so you had said there's something that mandates us to do that, and you can get this to me later, but you said the state mandates us, so there must be some kind of West Virginia code that you could send me, so I can read it for future.
I don't have
No.
what that is, and I guess I could look it up, but I can tell you that every state auditor training I have ever gone to, they say it's in all the instructions, and it's in the letter back from them,
Right.
it says you must meet on the third Tuesday of April.
And I don't dispute you, but I would just like to see the code, so I have it in my records. Okay, what distinguishes, class 2 from class 4?
I don't have that knowledge. It's
Okay.
something that the property, that's tax assessor's office does.
So that's, I can
If
call the
it's
tax.
commercial property,
There might
class
be
4.
commercial, yeah, it says on here,
Yeah.
personal property, public utility, real estate, personal property, public, I don't know what all those are.
That makes sense because the commercial is twice as much.
Right,
Yeah,
that's
my
right.
recollection is it's
That's
personal.
right.
I don't
Right,
know what
that's
class 3 is.
You know, what the difference was that we had because, and this is assessed value. Okay, so that's good. I needed to know that. Personal property, I guess, is the cars and all that stuff, right? It's the vehicles and all that stuff.
Probably.
Okay,
It-
public
it-
utility is our water works. What?
I don't know.
I think it applies to any utility that does business in town.
I mean, we don't have, the waterworks building is not within the corporation limits, so
Well,
it is not property tax that would come to us.
But we do see, yeah, this is property tax. Yeah, I was gonna say we see tax revenue from the utility, but this only concerns,
Yeah.
what we're dealing with right now only concerns the property tax.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with waterworks. Let me just make that so we have that for future reference. Nothing to do.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't want
All
to say
right,
that.
so we,
Doesn't. This
okay, let's
is-
confirm it then.
I mean,
So let's confirm with
I
utility.
don't know.
So we can confirm in process very
No.
confirm what that is. Okay.
Ah.
Bing, 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 okay. All right, you made a statement that council decides the budget and so does Budget and Finance Committee. I personally have not decided anything that's on this budget. And I was hoping, and again, this is my naivete, and I'll admit that, but I thought we would have a budget meeting that all of the new town council and the old town council members got together and kind of went line item by line and said, okay, let's tighten up on this one. Let's reduce this one by $500 because we need to be more fiscal responsible. And let's move that $500 to this pot of money. So I was hoping that all of us would have that opportunity to do that. And I don't know if that's standard procedure that this town has done in the past, but I kind of thought maybe you guys did that.
The way
and so
we
I
got-
was, hold on, I was kind of disappointed to find out that we didn't. So what is the protocol for the future? So do we need to, as a deliberative body, all meet and go over line item by line item by a meeting called by Budget and Finance to say that, hey, we did contribute to the budget, and gosh darn it, constituents, we heard you, and we tightened up and we became more fiscal responsible town.
This
No.
is really not anything to do with our budget, except it's one very important piece of income that we don't have any much say over. It's pretty much pro forma based upon the county assessor, the state.
Right.
And
But-
also
Okay.
that's what we're dealing with.
I'll address your question, that the way this town has done it for years has been, that level of detail has been done by Budget and Finance. And those meetings are open for anybody to attend.
So how do we know when they are?
They're posted like every other meeting, like every planning commission meeting, like every historic.
I'm gonna try to fix them. That's my story.
So
But-
that is done, and then it comes here and we present it, and we do go over it in depth. That highlights the big changes, the document that has prior year, last revision, and projected budget. So that's all there, and that's provided ahead of time, and that's an opportunity that that questions can be asked, and I believe that they are. And within Budget and Finance, we absolutely do. We spend many hours going over this and finding. these
And I
things.
trust you do, and I just, as, you know, I guess I would like to participate in that and know when that's happening. Because I thought, again, our fiscal year doesn't start till July, so I thought, maybe tonight was laying this levy thing that we've been hearing about till that would happen today was gonna be that workshop, talk about the budget, and so, yeah, my naivete, okay, so I admit that. So maybe, we can do better, next time around, but, or in the future. So, but the $85,000 that we're supposedly gonna get, is there something in writing, state code or whatever that says we have to spend that $85,000 on X, X, and X?
Not that I'm aware of. It is general fund.
General fund, so right in the general fund, okay, that's what I wanted to hear, where it goes.
It's roughly 12% of our tax revenue.
Okay, I've completed my questions. Thank you. Mary. Thank you, Debbie.
Does anyone have any other questions?
I'd like to make a motion, which is to adopt the levy for fiscal year 2025 general fund and coal severance budgets as presented.
Okay, and we are going to do a roll call. All right, so roll call vote, we'll start with, Storm DiCostanzo,
Yes.
Chris Craig,
Yes.
George Owens,
Yes.
Zach Morse,
Yes.
Roberta Mead Curry,
Abstain.
and myself, yes. All right, motion passes. All right,
Can I have a count on that, please?
5 yes, 1 abstaining.
And one absent.
1 absent. Okay, and then, the second item on our agenda today is discussion and action regarding fiscal year 2024 general fund budget, revision number 5.
Yep. So this is for one thing that is happening, which is the town hall AC system failed and needs to be replaced with the potential for extremely hot days around the corner. It's essential the system be able to cool town hall for employees and visiting members of the public, as well as the computer server that has our data, which is on shaky legs and is slated to be replaced, but has not yet. It is sensitive to heat as well, so that could put the town's data at risk. So, yeah,
Quick question. So I see the revision is for $13,000. Is that correct? Am I reading this
Mhm,
document
yeah.
correctly? Okay. So we have a proposal for 11,004.
Mhm.
So why is it changed for 13,000?
yeah. Have you ever worked with contractors?
Sure have.
It's to allow for a reasonable amount of overage.
Contingency.
No, I get that, but there's no contingency statement on this document?
Our process typically is when we are accepting a bid, we always allow for a contingency within our budget, that is over the estimated amount.
Because if we start the project and we need another $5 to follow the law, we would have to run it back through the whole process, and that would, potentially derail the project.
Okay, and then
I think that's prudent.
exactly. And what is the maximum amount that we can do without going for bid? Or did you receive bids on this?
So we did not, because as Storm explained, we are, the time to do all of that and replace the system and protect the computer station especially would be excessive. They will be able to get it in here next week.
Okay, and this, you said something about the server, so there's nothing, it's only the air conditioner. We're not doing any kind of anything, we're not purchasing anything for the server.
Correct, servers are temperature sensitive.
I know, so, and so, but you said server, so I thought it was for
This was
another
our
item.
standard emergency procedure.
We actually decided we could have done that, and that would have been that the mayor would have authorized this purchase last week. However, since we were having this meeting already, I said we've got enough days that we can wait. It wasn't super hot last week, so we said, let's just wait for the meeting and do it this way so that council can approve it and everyone we agreed with that.
Okay, go ahead.
Just going back to, we allow for that buffer zone, is that why we phase the motion up to a certain amount?
Yes,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah, does not say we will spend it.
right.
And
Do we have a motion on the floor?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
May I call for a motion, please?
Roberta has more comment.
okay, so I didn't get my answer. So what is the limit for us to require us to go out to bid?
Well, this particular area would ask for written bids, where in the dollar amount that this would ask for written bids. But because of the circumstances, we do have the option to not bid if we feel that it is in the best interest of the town.
Okay, so get my dollar amount. So can you get that to me later, what our official dollar amount is?
So there's a full process, and I can.
Yeah, please just send that to me. I appreciate that. So I don't have to ask that question anymore, because I try to ask that question every time we have a big dollar amount like this, so we can all just have it on the table. And we're not gonna get yelled at for being fiscally irresponsible.
Well, we can add to the statement that a sole bid was selected to expedite the work as it was deemed to be. Sorry, it's a phrase.
in the best interest of the town.
I would appreciate it, like you did for the other one that we approved you
Right.
a couple
Or,
meetings ago.
or George, if you wanted to make a motion.
I would appreciate it.
I'll make a motion to approve could you read the statement?
The first is the budget.
The expenditure.
First is
Oh,
the
well, yeah.
The budget revision.
So it's moving to approve the fiscal year 2024 general fund budget revision number 5 as presented, which moves $13,000 from the general government line to the city hall line to enable the purchase of a new HVAC system for town hall. A sole bid was selected to expedite the work as it was deemed to be in the best interest of the town.
And I
That's my
second,
motion.
I second that.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, and we will do a roll call vote for that. Storm DiCostanzo,
Yes.
Chris Craig,
Yes.
George Owens,
Yes.
Zachary Morse,
Yes.
Roberta Mead Cree,
Yes,
and myself, yes. And that is a unanimous motion,
well, really, it's one absent.
right? Unanimous for all who are at the table. Okay, and then that moves us on to item number 3, discussion and action regarding purchase of HVAC unit for town hall
I
office.
make a motion to approve the purchase of an HVAC unit for the office
Well, up to
with the amount up to
$13,000.
$13,000.
And should specify that it's to Shenandoah Air Conditioning and Heating.
From the Shenandoah Air Conditioning.
And I second.
Sorry, 1 second.
Is there just a discussion? May I ask what?
Go ahead.
If he didn't say Shenandoah Air Conditioning and Heating Inc., is that a problem? Hey, there
Well-
might be a company out there called Shenandoah Air Conditioning.
Pardon me, I misspoke. Let me include the full title Shenandoah
Here's the estimate number, you can work with that.
and Air Conditioning. Estimate number 56323696.
Let's see that number, so I can push it.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. All right, we already have a second. Do you accept the
Yes.
the addition to that? All right, all those in favor? All those opposed? All right, 6 yes, 0 no, 1 absent. All right, I guess that's all we had to go through today. Do you have a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? All those opposed? All right.
And Debbie, thank you very much for the coherent explanation.
Yeah, thanks for all the work
That
that
was
goes into it.
extremely, it's extremely coherent as well as concise. And that's really an oddity in this phase